So if you are here to find out what is happening right now with price action of Bitcoin and also what kind of scenario to be expected next to unfollow, then this is the right place, because in this video I'm going to show you different scenario in different time frame and also where the price of Bitcoin might be possibly heading. So if that is exactly what you wanted to hear, then come on guys, hit that like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. Now without wasting any time, let's jump into the content. So as you can see guys, we are jumping straight here in a weekly time frame, because in a weekly time frame the price of Bitcoin is repeating one scenario since 2020 March. I mean, with each and every price retracement, we have found a strong support around this rising trend line, and this rising trend line is not just only going to be acting as a line of support in case if we do see any sort of a pullback, but it's also showing us a possible trend duration for Bitcoin here in a weekly time frame. So that's why in a weekly we have said if this price of Bitcoin is going to see some more pullback before choosing an actual trend direction, we are expecting a strong support around this rising trend line that could be around 38,000 price area. And I have talked about this scenario plenty of time in my video, and along with that we also do have this 50 weekly moving average acting as a strong line of support around 39,300 price area. So now in a weekly we know the price of Bitcoin has a strong support around this 39 to 38,000 price area, because at any cost the price should not break below this rising trend line or also below this 50 weekly moving average, because breaking below this rising trend line and also the 50 weekly moving average could indicate an actual trend reversal type of scenario for Bitcoin, and that is not what we want to see, because we have seen similar price pullback also here in the past Bitcoin price action, but price after finding a strong support around this rising trend line and also around this 50 weekly moving average, we saw a really nice bounce here in the past Bitcoin price action. So that's why if we do see any sort of a reversal around this rising trend line and this 50 exponential moving average, we are expecting a really nice support here for Bitcoin. And not just only here in a weekly time frame guys, if you monitor the price movement of Bitcoin around this area in a daily time frame, let me show you this very interesting scenario. So guys, now if we look at the price structure of Bitcoin here in a daily time frame, what we can simply do is take this Fibonacci retracement from this swing low till this swing high area, because we can see very clearly the price of Bitcoin forms a strong support as soon as we came at this 0.5 Fibonacci retracement line, because this 0.5 around 41,000 also did act as a support here in the past Bitcoin price action. So that's why for the immediate short term the bulls must defend this territory around 41,000, because failing to find support this 41,000 could indicate another pullback which could bring the price of Bitcoin around this golden pocket level, the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement line that is lying around 38,000 price range, just like with this rising trend line, because this rising trend line is also lying around 38,000. So that's why now we know around this 38,000 we do have a very strong support for Bitcoin. But if we look at this here, right, around this price range bit differently, we can also see one bullish scenario that could be forming parallelly. I mean, if we look at the price structure and use this falling wedge type of scenario, we can see very clearly guys, this falling wedge, the lower line was a strong line of support. We also had a fake out here, but you can see price did jump inside this falling wedge and also found support around this lower line area. So now if you look at this price movement, if we do see the price of Bitcoin showing some more consolidation around this 0.5 Fibonacci line, then we could be actually expecting some sort of a range bound and price also breaking out of this falling wedge, because if that is going to happen, right, for the immediate short term, our next possible target is around 0.382 Fibonacci line that is lying around 43,863, and also the most important resistance line is lying between this 45 to 46,000 range. So until the bulls are not going to break this resistance and flip into the support, the price of Bitcoin could still see some more impulsive movement and again continue this rally here in this manner. So this is also one scenario we have to take it into consideration, because if you look at this here in a smaller time frame, no problem, you can see. So in a 4-hour time frame, you can look at this price action using this CPI indicator. I want to be very clear on this one. Right now, if you look at this price structure, you can see the price here is below this monthly CPI line, the top CPI line, central CPI line, and the bottom CPI line. And we are also aware now, since the price is below the CPI line, the same line here which previously acted as a support is going to be acting as a resistance. All right, so this resistance line, the lower line, is also around 44,000. This is the central CPI line is around 45,000 and the top CPI line is lying around 46,000. So this resistance must be flipped into support if the price of Bitcoin wants to show any sort of impulsive movement. But right now, another scenario what we also have to take into consideration is that the next month CPR. If the price of Bitcoin is going to close below this CPR line, right now below this 44 to 45,000 price range, the next monthly CPR for this October month is going to be maybe a descending CPR or a parallel CPR line, and that is not what we want to see, because if you do see the next month CPR also lying somewhere around this, then that will indicate a possible trend reversal. Why? Because if you look at this CPR line, when the trend was heading to the downside, this CPR line was acting as a resistance, right? You can see resistance with each and every price movement here to the upside. But once we started forming this ascending CPR, the price also started heading to the upside, and the same CPR line which previously acted as a resistance in a downtrend acted as a support, because the price was heading here to the upper direction. So in our case right now, you can see we are below this CPR line. So that's why we want at any cost the price before this month ends. So we do have 2 more days left. The price also somehow to remain around this central CPR line that is lying around 45,000, because closing the monthly below this 45 to 44,000 range is going to clearly indicate a weakness, and also the next month CPI is going to be a descending CPI, and descending CPI usually indicates the trend here could be potentially heading to the downside. So this is also one scenario I wanted to talk into this video. But now the price movement what we are witnessing here is still forming this symmetrical triangle, but this symmetrical triangle, since it's in a descending price movement, right, where we are making this lower lows, lower highs, we want this at any cost to break out of this resistance and flip it into support, because to the upside we do have some strong line of resistance lying around. So that's why one scenario what could also play out here for short term, right, is a price movement here in this manner, price breaking here to the upside, getting a strong rejection from the CPR line, and again continue this rally here to the downside, because according to the CPR line, the lower price target is lying around 39,450. So now, along with this 50 weekly moving average, rising trend line, and also the 0.5 to 0.618 Fibonacci line. So that's why guys, if we do see a pullback around this 38 to 39,000 range, we are aware we do have extremely important support line around that price area. And now if we look at this here, right, doesn't matter whichever way you look at the price of Bitcoin, altogether looks weak. I mean, this lower highs, lower lows scenario here, right, we have to break out of this resistance and flip it into support that I have been saying since a couple of days. So that's why unless the price of Bitcoin is not breaking this important line of resistance here to the upside and flipping it into support, we are still going to expect some more range bound and even a pullback here to the downside. So guys, these are some of the scenarios I wanted to share with you into this quick update. If you enjoyed my video, then please hit the like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. By saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye guys.